Hi, David McIntosh, Paediatric ENT Doctor. I want to talk to you today about tongue tie. Now, tongue tie is a pretty popular topic. It's floating around a lot of the social media circles at the moment, and it's a very important topic. Tongue tie is a situation where a little bit of skin underneath the tongue results in the tongue not being able to move around properly. Now, when it comes to restricting tongue movements, again, different people may have different problems. Some people can have a tongue that doesn't move very much at all, and they're absolutely fine. Other people, just a little bit of restriction causes a whole lot of problems. So it all comes down to function. One of the things that people get caught out these days is taking photos and then sharing them around the place. The problem with photos is it doesn't really tell us how something works. It just tells us about how it looks. Now that's a good starting point, but it's not really the story that we're after. So when it comes to tongue tie, what do you need to know? Well, the most common time that a tongue tie will present as a problem is very early on in life, in the first few days, even the first few hours, and that relates to breastfeeding. So if you're a mother and you have a new child and they are struggling to feed, get a lactation consultant involved. Get them to check things over. Sometimes it's just technique, sometimes it's positioning, but sometimes it's tongue tie. And if there is a tongue tie and that seems to be the problem, then look at getting it fixed. Having said that, just be aware that even when we think it's a tongue tie, 10 to 20% of the time, getting it fixed still makes no difference. Later on down the track, kids may have speech problems. Now, the good news about kids and speech is that they generally do just fine, even if they do have a tongue tie. In fact, it's probably only about 10% of the tongue-tied kids that actually have some form of speech problem. The other 90% are doing just fine. So don't worry about it if it's not causing any problems. One of the areas of great research at the moment is the effect of tongue tie in terms of how it may affect the jaw and the teeth. Now, this is a very controversial topic, but the general research is suggestive, but not definitive, that it may actually lead to the bottom jaw growing too far forwards, and it may lead to the top jaw growing too narrow. The combination of these things may cause problems with how the teeth line up, and you may need to see a dentist or an orthodontist for advice on what to do about this. One of the further areas of interest is whether this change in terms of the top jaw being too narrow may somehow feed into problems later on with sleep apnea in adults. Now, there is some research suggesting that may be the case, but again, it's not quite definitive. So at the moment, we don't have a good reason to fix a tongue tie just based on its formation. It has to do with its function. So if you're worried, get the people involved early. If it's a baby, get a lactation consultant. If it's a child with speech problems, get a speech therapist involved. If it's the way the jaw and teeth are coming together, get a dentist and then an orthodontist involved. Get things assessed, and if there's an issue, then yes, look at having something done to sort it out. Be aware that there are risks with every procedure, and also be aware of some of the claims being made. There are plenty of ways to fix tongue ties. No one has one way that is specifically better than another. It's what comes down to that individual and the skill that they have in the tool that they use. So whether someone uses scissors or laser really doesn't make much difference based on the science that's out there. All someone is saying is that in their hands, that's the best tool for them. So I hope that's helpful, and if you want any more information, please talk to your doctors and specialists. Have a good day.